Welcome back on Sherdog. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. How has your morning started? I checked your Instagram stories and I saw that you went to the gym. Did you have a class or something like that?
Yeah, so no. I had wrestling for an hour, then I had sparring, and then I had drilling, and then after that I had strength conditioning. So busy morning. Now I'm back.
Oh, yeah, for real, busy for real. And who did you spar with?
Today was one of my teammates. He's an up and comer. His name's Jeremy Garcia. I got some other guys some of my main training partners. I got too many to name off the top of my head right now.
No worries, no worries. That's fine. Was it an intense sparring session or was it just
No,
the regular?
it was cool flow sparring, game plan sparring, that kind of stuff. Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And of course, you're preparing for your upcoming fight on June the 23rd. You're scheduled to take on Yamato Nishikawa on that occasion. Listen, your upcoming opponent has been praised by Clay Collard for his toughness. What do you think about that?
I agree. The kid is tough. Um, yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of him. He's tough. He's not going to be easy to put away. You saw Clay was trying, and all that he gave Clay a fight. I mean, it wasn't like Clay just beat on him the whole time. Like Clay did do good, but that kid got his licks in too. He had some nice kicks.
Uh, Did you watch the fight? I mean, they were fighting just before your clash with Olivier Aubin-Mercier on that card.
Yeah, so I was warming up during the fight, but I was watching it here and there. But then obviously I watched it again after just to study him a little bit. But yeah, man, like I said, super impressed with his toughness. I definitely give him that.
And in addition to his kicking game, what do you think about your next opponent and his toughness, of course?
Good kicks. Like I said, tough to put away, but that's my job is to put him away, and that's 100% what I'm looking towards. And everybody asked me for going into the last fight, are you thinking about the point system? And I wasn't thinking about it at all. Now I'm in a position where I have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, because I have to not only win the fight, I have to basically finish him, and it's got to be relatively quick. So now I am thinking about that, being a fast starter and not really taking too much time to get that feeling out process. So yeah, that puts a lot of I wouldn't say pressure, but it puts a lot on my mind to get that finish, because I want to be in the playoffs, obviously.
You're right, actually. Of course, at the moment, everyone in the standings is at 3 points. At all the lightweights who won, obviously, have 3 points currently. But you might need, actually, I believe you will need, not without might, you will need a finish for the finalists. Yes, semifinals. So are you going to push to finish your opponent in the first or in the second?
Yes, you know what I mean. Like it's, but you know what? So is he. So that's what excites me about the matchup. You know what I mean? Because we're both kind of put in this position where you kind of put in a corner. You kind of gotta. It's either fight or flight, and I don't plan on running. I plan on, as soon as the referee says go, I gotta fucking go. And I know he's gonna be coming with that same intensity, and I'm excited for that. Somebody that's willing to oblige in the violence. I'm excited for that.
What do you think about the PFL talent scouts? This question I also asked Clay Cora about. Nishikawa just came to the PFL. It was his big league debut. Yet he proved that he is tough and he can stand his ground even with very seasoned fighters, or experienced fighters and tough ones like Collard. What do you think about, the PFL talent scouts in general searching for these fighters who are basically almost unknown before fighting in the PFL?
They're doing a good job with it. They're doing a really good job with it. They'll obviously, like, a lot of big name signings recently. You got Cedric, who just got signed. You got Francis, who just got signed, which is the biggest signing in history. You got me, who just got signed a couple months ago. Then you got Thiago Santos. I mean, they're doing a good job with the big names, but there's also a good job that they're doing with the guys that aren't known, and they're going to try to build those guys up into the superstars. And given this kid a fight with Collard, that just shows how not just how tough he is, but how good he is. He didn't get finished. He didn't get completely demolished by Collard, and now he's going in there with me. And my job is to do even better than Collard did, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. But like I said, they do a good job with going out and scouting out these guys, because I think the kid's 21 years old and he's got way more fights than me. Obviously, the talent level that he's in, the competition level that he's fighting isn't I don't think it's the same to me. Like, his toughest fight by far was Clay Collard, and yes, he did do pretty good, but I think I'm even tougher than that one. So
Yeah, he's 20 and he features plenty of experience. Nishikawa, of course, I'm referring to Nishikawa. He's 20 and features plenty of experience for his age. But
yeah,
they were regional fights in Japan, with all due respect to Japan. I mean, he was fighting in Shoto. I know that Shoto is a very, very good promotion circuit in general. But again, it's not the same as like facing former UFC fighters, and it's not the same as facing current PFL fighters.
yep, completely agree.
When we spoke the last time, you mentioned that you were one of the first trailblazers that moved from the UFC to the PFL. Last week, the PFL just signed Francis Ngannou. How do you comment on that?
Phenomenal. Like I said, the biggest signing in MMA history. The deal that he got is amazing, not just for him, but for me, for that guy fighting, for this guy fighting. It's amazing for the sport. That was a historic moment and a historic deal that he got. To guarantee that your opponent's gonna make $2 million, like to actually give a shit about what your opponent's gonna make, is insane. Like, I respect that so much, and to stick to your guns on that, I can't even put into words the level of respect I have for that, because that's one of those things, like, out of all the stipulations, maybe he'd be like, all right, he'll let that one go. At least he's getting his. But no, he stuck to his guns and is like, no, whoever I fight, it has to make $2 million. That's mind blowing that he's that much of a, I don't even know what the word is, like, selfless. That a very selfless thing to do, to stick to your guns with something like that. Where I can see a lot of fighters easily being like, now, you know what, I don't really care what my opponent makes, but as long as I'm making my money, that's all that matters. And he said no, he wants to make his money, but he also wants everyone to make their money. And then he's a chairman on the board for Africa. I think they're gonna have PFL Africa, which is, they have PFL Europe already. PFL Africa is gonna be fucking amazing. I'm super excited for that. Just that opens up a whole new market, a whole bunch of unknown guys. Like we were talking about Nishikawa, there's gonna be a bunch of guys from Africa that we haven't heard about and that are gonna be future superstars. So I'm excited for that whole market to open up. And if the PFL ever wants to send me out to do like a meet and greet or something like that in Africa, sign me up. I'm down for that.
I'm glad to hear that. And Francis Ngannou's situation with PFL at the moment is unfortunately a singularity in the MMA scene. Everyone is just Francis Ngannou who has that kind of contract. But do you expect in the future the situation for the fighters to change and to improve?
Yes, 100%. I think, like I said, that was a big move for everyone. Yeah, I think that it's like a ripple effect. You drop a pebble in the water, and a ripple effect goes through everything. I think everyone's stock is going to rise. Like, you're going to see guys making a lot more money now. Like, if you notice, like, a lot of pages on Instagram, they post like the salaries after fights. And I mean, me personally, I'm noticing a lot more fighters are making that their money's going up. It's not super significant or anything like that, but it's definitely going up. And I'm noticing the rise in everyone's pay, which I love. I want to get paid. Obviously, I care about me because I have a family and everything like that. But I also want everyone else to get paid, because if everyone's getting paid, that's what the sport's about. You see these guys in the NBA and the NFL, they're making $100 million a year, $50 million a year, $200 million a year. Like, why are we not doing that? We're the best in the world at what we do as well. And this is the most primal sport. This is the first ever sport, fighting. So I feel like we gotta get MMA to that level where you're making the same as the NFL guys, the NBA guys, these soccer leagues making insane money. Like, why can't we do that?
Yeah, MMA is one of the most popular sports, at least in the United States, but is growing
Globally.
worldwide. And it is very, very demanding out of the fighters. I
Yeah.
mean, you can confirm it.
Yes, not just physically, but mentally. Like, I don't think, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from any other sports, but this sport is so much more mentally taxing, I think, especially the way the PFL season is. Like, man, I just got out of a fight camp and now I'm right back into a fight camp. You know how mentally tough that is to put yourself through that? Like, yeah, I want to get paid for it. And I am getting paid for it. I'm getting paid good. Shout out to the PFL for my deal. Great deal. But obviously I want to make even more. I want to make what these NBA, NFL, soccer teams are making. I want that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're putting your body on the line, you're putting everything on the line every time you're stepping into the cage. So why shouldn't you be paid the right amount you deserve, right?
Completely agree, man. I don't think there's anyone on the face of this earth that disagrees unless they don't respect MMA as a sport, which you got a couple guys like that. But I think everyone agrees that this sport, if anybody deserves that kind of money, I think it's this sport.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I totally agree. And I honestly hope that, the situation will improve for you fighters in general. Before I let you go, you're coming off a decision loss to Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Was that something that threw your game off that night? You didn't expect something from your opponent? What happened?
It was just it was a weird feeling, a weird fight. I kind of felt like a sparring session. It didn't feel like it was the first. I mean, I've had 19 professional fights, a bunch of amateur fights. It was the first time I ever got out of the cage and was like, I just feel like I just had a frustrating sparring session. Like my face was fine now. I wasn't hurt or anything. I was like, it just felt like a very empty feeling. He did a good job at just because he knows what, like, I mean, everybody knows when I go in there, I'm coming to fight, like make it as violent as possible. In the first round, yeah, we're filling each other out. And then the second round, I started getting my timing down. Then he did a good job ducking under, getting me against the cage and just kind of taking the fight out of me by just holding me. Like he made it more of a competition. And I'm not trying to disrespect him or discredit him. He did what he had to do to win. Props to him. He got the job done. But he did a good job at just making it more of a competition and less of a fight, where he was able to just hold on to me and stall the clock. I didn't expect that. I thought he would try to choke me or try to like punch me in those positions. So yeah, I didn't expect that. But like I said, it was just a very empty feeling after the fight where what made it better, and had it been in the UFC, it'd been way different. Having my next one booked already. You know what I mean? Like I was backstage crying because I just felt so frustrated, like that empty feeling. But then I'm like, you know what? Snap out of it, man. I already knew June 23rd I'm fighting again, and in my mind I was like, all right, who am I going to get next? So I was able to get over it relatively quickly, and it didn't, like I said, it didn't feel like a loss. It felt just like a bad sparring session. So, but at the end of the day, it is a loss, and it pisses me off that it's a loss in my record. But yeah, very, very frustrating feeling.
You'll have your chance to bounce back on June 23rd. Thank you very much, Shane, for giving us a little bit of your time today. Best of luck with your upcoming fight, and hopefully I will hear again from you in the future, man.
Thank you, man. We'll talk soon, all right? Have a good one.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.